Okay, so it asks us to find the following sum. We kind of know that because it's summation notation. But the thing is, we don't really know when they just give us this notation. We don't know that that's a geometric sequence. We could say, well, we're in section 8.3, so we kind of think it's going to be a geometric sequence, but you really have to see if it is. So we can write out some terms. This is going to equal, if I equals 1, 6 times 2 to the first, plus then 6 times 2 to the second, plus then 6 times 2 to the third, plus, and I don't want to write them all out, I'll go to the last one, the upper limit, 6 times 2 to the 10th. Okay, now, you could see what these are, what they equal, just to establish the common ratio. You probably have a pretty good idea of what's going on because it looks like we just keep multiplying by 2. But it might be helpful to see that. And you'll also need to know the first term. So here you get 6 times 2, which is 12. Here you're going to get 6 times 4, which is 24. Okay, so I think the common ratio is going to be 2, right? 24 divided by 12 is 2. Okay, but let's try another one. So 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Plus, I don't know, something. 6 times 2 to the 10th. I don't know what that is. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. All right, now we feel like the R is 2. That seems pretty obvious because you're multiplying by 2 here, you're multiplying by 2 here. You could find more terms if you want to, but 3 is enough. Okay, now I have to pull out that sum formula. That's the one I always have trouble remembering. And this formula is not based on a sub n, so I don't even have to know what that is. Let me make sure I wrote the formula right. Okay, yeah. But I do have to know r, I do have to know n, and I do have to know a sub 1. Okay. So do I know what n is? Yeah, I'm adding 10 terms. My n is right here. That is n. Do I know a sub 1? That is a sub 1 right there. Okay, so I'm finding the sum of 10 terms. So you could make yourself a little chart here. This might be helpful when you're putting it in a formula. We said r is 2. We know n is 10. We're adding up 10 terms. And we know a sub 1, we found the first term was 12. Okay, so the sum of the first 10 terms is 12 times 1 minus, now what's r? 2 to the 10th. I don't know what that is, but my calculator will figure it out. Minus, I'm sorry, over 1 minus 2. Okay. So I can go this way, but I'm going to put this in a calculator. So I'm going to go parenthesis 12, parenthesis 1 minus 2 to the 10th, parenthesis, that closes that off, closes off the numerator, and then I'm going to be dividing by negative 1. I did the 1 minus 2. That's important that it's negative. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we got a negative sum on in the last video. That's because we had such a high exponent on those negative numbers, you know, so it was going to be more negative than positive. Okay. But let's put this in a calculator. Parenthesis 12, parenthesis 1 minus 2 exponent 10, parenthesis, parenthesis, divided by negative 1. And I'm getting the sum of my first 10 terms is 12,276. Okay, so hopefully that's what you get to on your calculator. If not, play around with your calculator so you can get that number. We are not doing that by hand, so I'm not. So you want to work with your calculator so you can get these calculations correct.